The outline of Oomoto number 2, mediumistic vision of Nao Deguchi. It was, according to the lunar calendar, on New Year's Day, 1892, when Nao was 56 years old, that she found herself in a dream, among great and small palaces and lofty halls on either side. Their sublimity and beauty were beyond description. She entered a front gate and looked around, finding a divine man with noble and handsome features, a tall and heavily built body with long flowing hair of a holy appearance. She had been quite absorbed in her surroundings until the godlike man got up from his seat, advancing towards her, leading her far into the interior. Then, making her way downstairs of the innermost palace, he alone went up into the inside to report something to the throne. After a while, when the godlike man returned to his former seat, Nao hurriedly fled out the gate. She turned in the direction which seemed to be northeast. Nao found a great gate within which she perceived far more colossal and sublime temples like that of the ones she had first seen. The noblest one was built of gold, silver, and precious stones, which were fascinating to the human eyes. There Nao saw the great god, who was very sacred and graceful in appearance. Now he stood up serenely from the throne, stepped up to her with a smile, staring into her face for some time, and then returned to his seat. Awe-stricken to the bottom of her heart, she intended to run out of the gate, having been so blessed and so grateful, but the gate had already been firmly closed to allow for calm reflection. She at once opened the gates and ran as fast as possible for some distance. She stopped. It was here Nao found a beautiful mansion where she saw Masagoro sitting happily. Nao jumped for joy. They talked and talked, completely losing track of time. Nao wanted to tell her children and others about this happy encounter, and to explain to people how sacred, happy, and peaceful living is in this place after death. With the intention, Nao was about to leave when all at once she came back to the material world. How cold were the twists that were howling in through the crevices of the derelict house. The night was far advanced, and she heard the breathing of her sleeping little ones close by. Beginning then, she wandered through the same visionary world many times until one day she felt her whole body shake all over and became filled with divine emotions. The next day, too, she felt the same. In the beginning, Nao would not believe that such a superior divine spirit was responding through her. She doubted, questioned, and demanded that the miraculous being within her should reveal himself. Then immediately a spirit burst forth within her, straining her whole body, and spoke through her lips with a strong and noble voice, saying, "I am Wishtora no Konjin." Yet her doubts were not easily dispelled. However, Nao attained a marvelous stage of divine inspiration, finally with full awareness of the divine spirit. This was the beginning of her psychic ability. Nao's psychic ability was followed successfully by innumerable events. For example, one day Nao planted a Rhoda japonica, Oomoto in Japanese, in the garden and cried out with a loud voice, This is the great foundation of the world. Teaching of the first cause shall be preached. Hence, the name of the Oomoto religion. By pure logic, everyday standards, that which was set and done by now, were mostly puzzled. She intended to preach to the villagers, but they were unable to understand, which caused much mistake in misunderstanding and even insults. Ayabe was the subject to frequent subversive fires at that time, when Nao proclaimed, "Greater events and strange happenings in the world are all the bridges and the ways for this God to go across. Therefore, think about what is happening in the world, and you will be able to know God's plan, and you will truly be penitent." This was why Nao was apprehended and detained by police on suspicion of arson. Nao never ceased to cry out during this detention, but later the real offender was arrested. In the meantime, Nao was released. However, they ordered Nao to be kept under control as an insane person. So, her relatives and the villagers took the matter over, with the result that a room for isolation was made, in which Nao was made quiet. During her confinement, Nao changed. Nao stopped shouting and began scratching words into the wall with a nail instead. Thank you very much.